A stranger on the street is not going to stop me and go, Jessica, I think that you're building something that has so much potential. Here's what it could be. Like, that's just not the reality of it. And I realized that I had goals, as any other entrepreneur would. I didn't realize that my goals were too small. I was playing it so safe. If I don't believe it's going to happen, nobody else is going to just organically do that for me. I have to be willing to do that, to say the big things and to say them out loud. This is my goal, and I'm excited for this. And it's going to take a lot of work, but I think this work is worth it.
Welcome to Business Book Club Breakthroughs, the show where real owners are sharing the books that have moved the needle for their companies, but more importantly, how they're applying these ideas to help build stronger foundations, better teams, and healthier margins. I'm Christin Cherry, your business growth guide, and I help owners implement practical operation systems so that they can scale with less chaos. What I love about these conversations is how relatable they get. Today's guest is going to share how she was maybe dreaming a little too small in her company. She's going to share the one book that had really moved the needle for her and how it is actually showing up in her business today. So if you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or maybe like you're working harder and you're not seeing the growth that you want, today's podcast is for you. Today's guest is Jessica Fraser. She is founder and CEO of ElucidCX, a voice of the customer strategy consulting firm. Tell us more, Jessica.
Yes. First off, I'm so excited to be here.
Yes,
Christin.
yes.
Like, I'm so excited. I want to tell you everything about what we do, but do you watch Parks and Rec? And when like Leslie Knope goes on like the NPR style show and it's like, I think it's called like Thought for Your Thoughts. Like, I want to get my NPR voice. Welcome. And let's talk about business.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, let's get our voices. Let's get our
podcast voices on. Welcome.
Yes.
I could never do that. I have too much energy for that.
I know that's right. I've been in this book club with you for several rounds and you have the greatest energy for all of that. So no, we cannot see Jessica in that voice. If so, maybe for a second, and let's get real again.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. Okay. So
yes, tell us about ElucidCX. Tell us about you, but also I want to hear what you're chasing with your business.
Yeah. Okay. So ElucidCX, like you said, we take the actual voice of the customer, meaning I have one-on-one, human-to-human conversations directly with your customers to find out what they truly value. And we take all of those insights, all of that qualitative conversation that we have in a very fluid and organic conversation, and we turn it into actionable and strategic growth for your company. So it's no more assumptions about what a company values. It is, hey, my customers feel this way and I know why they feel this way. And so we know what levers to pull, we know when to pull them, and we know how to prioritize the pulling of those levers for the purpose of growth. That is why we're doing it. Not just so you have a great next quarter, but so you have a great next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. It is truly about the overall trajectory of a company and where they're going. And so I have been doing this work really for years in different industries and settings. And one day realized, I think this has legs to stand on its own. And I think it has the opportunity to be able to serve a wide variety of industries and come in as a partnership model in that way to say, hey, we can find out how your customers truly feel, and we can put strategic and actionable plans in place, not just here's a deck, peace out, you're on your own, but to say, hey, how do we attach a KPI to this, or an OKR to this, or create a rock around this if you're in an EOS system, and then give accountability to it. Because I am not okay with just saying, here's what I found, go on your way, and I hope it works out. I want to help you see it through to the very end, because I'm committed to the success of my clients as well, and know that voice of the customer is one of the most incredible ways to help get them there.
Yeah, their success is your success, right?
Yes, 100%.
Absolutely. Man, that's beautiful. What a powerful thing. And yes, I would agree. It should stand on its own. How's it standing?
It's standing. It's running.
Yes.
It's running. I received an email yesterday that honestly, as I digested it throughout the day, I kept getting teary-eyed thinking about this isn't just like a, hey, thanks for coming in and doing this thing. Maybe we'll find a way to implement it. It was an email from a client saying, we are taking the findings, we're telling the entire company, we're making strategic shifts. Teams will own these things. It is fundamentally changing the way that companies are going to operate in their industry, in their ecosystem. And I believe that it is, we're in this highly digitized age. AI is coming in and creating all of these efficiencies, and that is tremendous. But AI will never take away at our core our desire for human connection. And the customer still wants to know that their voice matters, that they're not a transaction, that they're not a line on your P&L. They know that theoretically, but we don't want to feel that as customers. We still kind of want that, like, I'm your most important customer type feel. And so imagine, Christin, a brand that you know and love, or one that you invest highly in with your finances, time, trust, whatever it might be, calling you and saying, your voice will shape who we become. I mean, isn't that ultimately what we want? Remember, customers define the value. We don't define the value. I think lots of things are valuable and nobody would want to buy them from me. But if the customers are defining the value, shouldn't it be their voice that's then driving our growth?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of Don Miller, and he says the customer is the hero. So you are giving that hero the voice that every business owner needs to hear. And sadly, we don't always get to hear it, right?
Yeah. And we have so many channels now too, and they're great channels. We have Google reviews, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have all of these places where people are, can be the keyboard warrior and they can share all of their insights in that way. But how much of that is actually deep and meaningful and not driven by, hey, if you give us a 5-star review on Google, we'll send you a $5 Starbucks gift card. Where's so much of the nuance is being missed in the conversation. Yeah. And so when I can go in and have that space with them, yes, AI is helping me to take a conversation and condense it and find themes in it. But AI can't find the spots where pauses happen that I note in my notepad next to me, or the way that their voice changes, or their tone, or the way they sit up in their chair and lean in and get excited. I get to notice those, and I get to lean in with them and pull threads even more and find out those things and come back to the table and say, your customer in 30 minutes had an opportunity to share things that we would have never, ever found out any other way besides this medium. So why wouldn't we invest in something like this?
That's right. If you don't invest in that, you are probably missing a big picture that could really, really help. The growth of your company, the strength of the foundation to grow that company upon. Like you said, it's not a quick fix. This is a long-term strategy, and hearing from the customer is huge. So Jessica, you are doing amazing things. I like to say you're like a slingshot into your entrepreneurial journey. You jumped in here head first. You knew exactly what the customer needed, and you have just done so good. So I'm curious, what is the challenge that you're facing right now in your business that maybe a book has helped you solve?
Oh, that's such a good question. And I don't know that I would have known truly how to articulate what my friction point was in this entrepreneurial journey until I started reading the book, and it helped give language and kind of put flesh and blood around this kind of foundation that I had. It brought it to life, right? And I realized that I had goals, as any other entrepreneur would. I didn't realize that my goals were too small.
Ooh.
I was playing it so safe. And what's wild to me is that along my career journey, being on other executive teams across industries, when I would get in a room with other leaders, I was never afraid to play it big. I was never afraid to say, this is what we could do. We need to dream bigger. But then when it was my baby, so to speak, I realized, oh my word, my biggest problem are not the little tactical day-to-day things that are going on. It's actually the mindset from which I am approaching my business being too small and too comfortable. And I am my biggest limiting factor. And a book, 10X is easier than 2X, put language to that for me.
Man, I love the saying, if you think you can or you think you can't, you're right.
Yeah.
So mindset is everything.
Mindset
And
is everything.
us as founders are the ceiling for our organization. So if we don't think it can be bigger, nobody else will. And how is it ever going to happen?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. A
So-
stranger on the street is not going to stop me and go, Jessica, I think that you're building something that has so much potential. Here's what it could be. Like, that's just not the reality of it. If I don't believe it's going to happen, nobody else, like you said, nobody else is going to just organically do that for me. I have to be willing to do that, to say the big things and to say them out loud. Say them out loud. Oh my gosh. Do you know how exciting and hard and scary and beautiful and fruitful it is to not just go like, I don't know, maybe it could be that thing, but to definitively say, this is my goal and I'm excited for this. And I'm proud that this is what I want to do. And it's going to take a lot of work, but I think this work is worth it.
Yeah, you deserve it.
Ugh.
Right? You deserve that success. You deserve that. The world deserves it, right? We're put on this earth. Dan Sullivan in the book talks about unique ability. Yeah. And it is your honor and your privilege to be able to use that in your company, right?
Yeah.
So you didn't quite have the words for it, but you knew you were playing small. Mm-hmm. You were introduced to the book, 10X is easier than 2X, which is this was written by Dan Sullivan and Dr. Benjamin Hardy. Beautiful book. Tell me, what was the first thing that clicked as you started reading this book to go, oh my gosh, I've been playing it too small?
Yeah, probably the introduction, like the whole introduction. I was just like, I'll never forget. I was on, my husband and I take a vacation together at the beginning of every year. It's kind of our anniversary, Christmas, birthdays, all wrapped into one. But also we do it at the beginning of the year because it helps us just reset for the year, get on the same page. And I was reading 10X is easier than 2X. And I just remember literally having to close the book and put it down after the introduction and go, whoa. I need to process that for a few minutes. And then as I kept going, there was a line in it about there's more competition around average goals than around the bigger ones. And I was like, wait a minute. Because I've read books like Blue Ocean Strategy and all of that. And when you think about what is my blue ocean, and you realize that red ocean, there's way more competition around average than there is around the extraordinary, around the big. And so when I had this mindset of 2X, thinking that like, gosh, if I 2X something, I'm doing a great job. But then you realize like, wait, the 2X is almost like a hamster wheel. And you're just going to keep running around. And there's such a bigger world out there. There's so much more to be explored and understood, more people to reach. If I am willing to get uncomfortable with the uncomfortable. I need to be willing to get comfortable with the uncomfortable. And that means setting goals that are outside of those average things where there's tons of competition, tons of it. And I was just realizing like a lot of my own limiting beliefs, 10X is easier than 2X, was about, hey, if somebody ever limited you before, it was probably for self-preservation. And you sort of, a piece of your soul kind of begins to heal in that place. And you're like, oh yeah, okay.
That's right.
Like there are elements of me that I need to be fully stepping into because I was created that way. And because I'm built that way around my unique ability. And if I'm not living into my unique ability, what is the world missing out on? What is the world missing out on if you're not doing that? What is the world missing out on if all of the people that we know aren't living into their unique ability? And the answer to that is a lot. A lot.
Yes. And so much unhappiness, right? We're not truly happy until we have really sat in our unique ability. So Jessica, I want you to help us understand what the unique ability is. So maybe some of the listeners have never heard of the unique ability. Hopefully some are picking up, but explain this simply to everybody that's listening.
So the way that I interpret unique ability is it is the thing that you are uniquely created to do that, number one, fires you up. So that little, and when your belly starts going and you're just like on the edge of your seat, ready to go, 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 go. But also it's combined with you realize it's valuable to the world around you. So unique ability is not just something that deeply affects and motivates you and brings value to your own life, but it actually is impacting the greater whole of humanity. So it's truly this like win-win. I love doing it and I'm passionate about it. And when I'm stepping into it, there's this contagion, this beautiful ecosystem created where other people are now excited and passionate about it as well, because I am pouring that out into the world around me. What
a beautiful world to live in.
I know. I want to live in a world where everybody is living in their unique ability.
Oh, you know what? I think that may be the key to world peace. I don't know.
Seriously.
But it may be.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And if anybody listening is familiar with Strength Finders, I have the developer strength in my top 5. And developers have this kind of unique ability to see the unique ability in other people and to want to cultivate it and like pull it out of them. And I have always thought, what would the world look like if everybody just was flourishing in who they were created to be? I want to live in that world. And here's the thing, though. I can admit that I always haven't been that person. I have pulled back. I have done things that I've said, I'll just be in this box for this amount of time, and maybe it's serving a greater good. And now that I've sort of burst out of that, I can't go back. I can't go back. I have to live into it.
She has seen the light.
I have.
Well, we don't want you to go back. We want you to live there. And I think we need to amplify this. You need to continue to helping others live their unique ability, which I imagine pulling from customers' voice is helping you form some of that. Yeah. So what a powerful thing that you're doing to help people to what you and I think agree on is the most powerful thing for you understanding your unique ability.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been playing it small. We started reading 10X is easier than 2X. You had a little bit of a aha moment. We started leaning into our unique ability. Tell me, Jessica, what other concepts, frameworks really spoke with you to help you start pushing your business into areas that you want to grow? Tell me, what other frameworks showed up for you?
Another big one that 10X is easier than 2X talks about the people that you surround yourself with. And I think that for the beginning stages of entrepreneurship, we all kind of see it through this lens of like, I've got to do all the things because you're sort of forced to at sometimes, right? I'm the bookkeeper and the marketer and the consultant and my own cheerleader some days. I'm the person that I hang out with around the water cooler. I am wearing a lot of hats right now. And I think that I was thinking, hey, to get where I want to go, I have to be able to do all of the right things at all of the right times. And I don't have to. I need to be humble enough and I need to be smart enough to step back and recognize the areas that I have that can be embellished, made better by smarter, wiser people who are operating in their unique ability. So as something that I'm thinking about is, as I look at my goals and I go, these are not 2x goals anymore. These are 10x goals. These are 100x goals. And there is 0% chance that I can get to where I want to go hanging out at the water cooler by myself. I have got to find the right people, the right who's to come around and do this work with me, and to activate them in their unique ability so that I can continue to operate in my own unique ability. Because the reality of that is, I am not a bookkeeper. I am terrible in Excel and QuickBooks. I'm doing it, but there are people who, when they are in there and they are their very best selves, and bless them. I'm so thankful we live in a world where there are people who are like, I cannot wait to make pivot tables today. Listen, you are my heroes. You are my heroes. That is not my jam. And so, as you look at all of these elements going, oh yeah, there are things I need to pass off. And the passing off of those things will make me a better founder. It will make me a better visionary. One of the things too, that even as I was reading 10X is easier than 2X, is bringing in like the EOS mindset and going, I don't need to be ashamed that I'm the visionary. I need my integrator. I need to find that person, and I need to allow that person to do what they will do best in these scenarios.
Yes. So I got to pause you there. You got to tell the listeners, break down the visionary integrator relationship. Tell us why you are shamelessly a visionary, and we're okay with it.
I have to preface this with, I don't know that I was always shamelessly willing to admit that I was the visionary. I think for a really long time, Christin, I have been trying to be an integrator to other people. And I would go, why do I feel XYZ when I'm doing that role? And coming into this entrepreneurial journey and stepping into the visionary role, which the visionary is the dreamer. The visionary is the person that is, looking forward and looking ahead and saying, okay, this is what it could be. This is the future that I envision. And the integrator is coming along and saying, and I have the pieces, the pathway, those stones. I know how to lay every single one to get us there. You need both. One is not more important than the other. One is not more vital to the work than the other. They are truly so interwoven together that the success comes from being able to have the right relationship between the two. And I realized that when you're a solopreneur and doing it on your own, like I said, you're wearing both hats. And I had sort of a self retreat one weekend where I stepped back from all of the work and I said, I need to analyze which of those things that I'm doing I actually love, right? I wanted to sit with what is my unique ability. I want to understand it. And then I want to play that through the EOS framework of, is that a visionary or is that an integrator? And I was like, I'm a visionary. And I think I had to say it out loud and not be afraid of that, because I didn't want it to seem like this, I'm the visionary of this. I want to just pass off all of the rolling up your sleeves work to somebody else, because you can't, right? I can't. I'm still in the rolling up the sleeves doing it. And I do love doing it. But where I see it come into play, and the beauty of this work is that when I'm going through the insights of voice of the customer with my clients, I get to step into a visionary role with them and say, here's the very, very tactical things that I found, but do you know who you could be? Do you see this vision for yourself? And I get to play that role in that space, and that the trust that they allow me to have in that space, to be a voice into their organization when I'm not in the day-to-day, it overwhelms me with gratitude that they would allow my voice to be in those rooms around those tables. But it also, I think, has helped me to consult businesses better by being unashamed of being the visionary and saying, I'm going to give you the tactical. That's what this report has to be. It has to be actionable, has to be strategic. But I also want to pour a very, very visionary aspect into all of this, so that you can understand what your growth can look like and that you can get that fire in your belly and engage your team and their unique abilities to go run with this and get it done.
What a gift. What a gift to be able to have the permission to be a visionary.
Yes. And
Isn't it?
Yes. And I don't know that I knew I needed the permission, but I just knew, like, I kept feeling like I was this person that, you know, if you go up to a wall and there's all this water behind it and little holes are going, and you just are using your fingers to plug all the holes. And I kept going, that's me. Like, I'm that person. I'll just be whatever you need me to be. And I was burning out and I was exhausted and I was confused as to why I didn't feel fulfilled. And then when I just allowed myself the permission to step back and go, hey, Jessica, what if you are the visionary? What then? And it was like an unlocking of, oh, I'm allowed to be the visionary. I'm allowed to play that role. And when I'm playing that role, good things happen. And that's good. That's good. That's necessary. It's so freeing.
That's the goal, right? So you realize at the beginning of this year, you're playing it small. Then you get to proudly step into this visionary role and imagine something so big and so scary for your business that it is exciting you.
Yeah.
It's no more just, let's kind of grow this year. Let's get a little bigger this year. I think we should add a team member here. You're thinking on a much larger scale.
Yeah.
Man,
Much larger.
Okay. I've got to ask, now that you're applying all of this mindset shift, what is it doing for your company today?
Oh, it's changing the way that I get out of bed every day. And that's no small thing. It is, you know, you plant your feet. And, you know, one of the things 10X is easier than 2X talks about is your identity, and your identity being those convictions. What is driving you? Who you say you are has to be who you are. And my identity is not wrapped up in the company. That would be dangerous, right? Because then my identity would be forced to ebb and flow with the company. It's more of I get to wake up every day and be assured of the identity of who I was naturally created to be and what that means for ElucidCX. What that means is my identity is a driver of what could be, and I am now only limited by what I will limit myself to do. And oh my goodness, it's both exhilarating and terrifying, yet I would never want to be somewhere else. I never want to go back to getting out of bed and going, it's another day, another dollar. Like, let's just go do the thing. Now I get out of bed and I go, the company is different because I can be who I was created to be, and I don't have to be ashamed or scared of that anymore.
Yeah. Or get permission. We don't need permission.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This is beautiful, Jessica. So I am very happy. It sounds like 2026 is going to be a magical year for you. Would you agree?
Yes, I hope. No, I should see, look, I'm like doing that thing where I'm kind of like, oh, maybe. Yes. Yes. If not for the purpose that it already has proven to be by the unlocking of all of this realization, of all of this growth, wisdom, learning in just, gosh, it's April 9th. How did we get here? How did we get to April? The things that I've already learned and done this year that are catapulting me to new heights. Yes, it's 2026 is magical because it's already started that way.
Beautiful, beautiful. So I am sure you have some things, some advice for some of the listeners today that maybe need to listen to something like 10X is easier than 2X. So tell us, what is one piece of advice that you would give to somebody that really needs the book 10X is easier than 2X?
Yeah. What I realized as I finished reading it, and what I've really come to realize, is that the advice I never got that I kind of wish I would have is it will also work. Like, your business will also work. we prepare ourselves for all of the worst case scenarios, right? We are risk takers as entrepreneurs, as founders. We are ready to jump into the places and go, we don't necessarily know the outcome. We know that this could be really hard. But what 10x is easier than 2x helped me realize is that the things that you are doing, when you are doing them well and you are doing them thought out and you are operating in your unique ability, can work. And that is so cool, because I think there are times now where, like I said, when I was reflecting back on what my client was sharing with me about the transformation, right? It wasn't a transaction. This voice of the customer didn't become transactional. It became transformational. And I go, I was like, it works. Gosh, that's what the book has helped me to realize. And what I would, if I could sit down with every founder and look them in the eyes and say, this book will help you to realize that what you're working hard on can work. It can work, because I think we prepare ourselves for all the worst case scenarios, or maybe we've encountered them and we felt them, or we've seen somebody from afar experience them. And this is like, hey, guess what? Did you need that friend that would also tell you, like, go do the thing, because it's going to work. It's going to work. You've got this. Stay in the fight. Stay in the game. Dream big, because what is the world going to lose out on if you don't? And I needed somebody to say that back to me. And I felt like the book mirrored that back to me. And so now I'm shouting it from the rooftops and saying, if you need that friend, if you need that founder, that encourager to tell you, stay in the fight, stay in the game, get out of average and break free of the limitations that you are setting on yourself. What is possible? Anything. So go do the thing, because you are uniquely gifted and skilled to do it. And when you lean into that, it literally changes the world. It changes the world around us.
Oh, it makes that getting out of bed a little bit easier.
Yes.
Because I know everybody that is listening to this, that if they have been an entrepreneur, a founder, a business owner for more than 2 weeks, you know, there's some pretty rough times.
Yes, we sign up for that, right? Like we get that there are days where you're just gonna be like, I can't get out of my sweatpants today. Like I can't do it. It's a 5 cup of coffee kind of day. It's I got to sit in the QuickBooks and I got to, you're just, and the math doesn't feel like it's mathing. And there's all of these elements of entrepreneurship that are hard, and we sign up for that. We are a different breed. But what if, Christin, what if you truly believed that what you were working on, A, had purpose, B, can only uniquely be done by you, and C, you already have the people around you, a unique circle of influence of people who need your work, who know what you're capable of, and who are ready to pour into you so that you can be poured out. Let's go. Let's do that thing.
Let's go.
I'll get out of bed for that. Like, I will get out of bed for that. And that is what has changed it, is if anybody wants to sell entrepreneurship as like, it's never going to be hard, you know, they're lying. Yeah. It's not Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Don't we all wish that was the case? No, it's not. But if you're building something that's worth building and you're getting to use your gifts in a way that make you feel alive, then you've got to get out of bed. You got to get out of bed and you got to run. You got to run hard and fast, and you've got to be ready, because you're going to run in trenches and muddy water and you're going to sink at times, but you got to have the right people and the right mindset to pull you out of that, because it's a race worth running.
Man, I could not agree more, Jessica. And I am certainly happy that you are in my circle of entrepreneurs.
I was going to say that back to you. I was going to say, listen, you are that person for me. The moment I met you, it was just like lightning, right? Like, yes, you just know. Same. And I was like, listen, I'm going to start a business one day with this lady. And I don't know when it will be, but like... What is in our future? Because you just, it's, when you get around people like that, it changes the game. It changes it.
Yeah. I want to end with this. It is so true. Finding your circle is an extraordinary advantage that you and I have, because you were that for me wholeheartedly. That energy, the wind at my sails whenever it is so hard to do that. And having you in our book club, sharing some of the vulnerabilities, being so authentic on what we're facing, what you're going through, but also how you're overcoming that is so inspiring. And it helps not only me, but everybody else in our groups get out of bed and face those harder days, because we have still some work to do on our mindset. So Jessica, I want to thank you so much, first and foremost, for being in the group. Secondly, for coming on today and sharing some of this with our audience. And I just hope, I know the best things are going to come for you in ElucidCX, because it is truly what you're made to do. And I am so excited to be on the sidelines watching it happen.
Oh, Christin, there's nowhere else I would rather be right now than doing this with you. This is so fun. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for your voice, and for everyone who's listening. If you don't have a connector like Christin in your life, find one. Find one. She is a gem. She is the true glue that holds our little book club together and keeps us focused. But it's not just about that. You didn't just say, hey, let's read a book. You created the space for psychological safety and vulnerability and authenticity to happen. And the reason that it works is because your heart for business owners shines through everything that you do, including this podcast. Like, you are one in a bajillion. That's not even a number, but it's bajillion. One in a bajillion. And I can't believe that when I wake up and put my feet on the floor and get out of bed, I go, Christin Cherry is in my phone. She is a contact. Like, we chat together. So thank you for being you, because the world is so much better because you operate in your unique ability as well.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I appreciate you. All right. So we are going to let you listeners get back at it. I cannot recommend 10X is easier than 2X enough. I think Jessica will agree.
Yes. Get it now.
All right. Bye, guys. Wow. What a great conversation with Jessica. If it resonated with you and you found yourself nodding along when she's talking about that circle of entrepreneurs that are going to support you through those crazy big dreams, then I have a simple next step. Come join our 6-week book club cohort. We make sure the circles are small, the conversations are always real, but we keep the focus on applying the ideas to build better businesses together. So I'll drop the information in the show notes so that you can get signed up, or follow us on Instagram and Facebook at the Woodlands Business Book Club. And if you like today's episode, hit subscribe, share this with one business owner that you feel needs to hear it, and I will see you on the next one.